Alright, I got my battery in, folks. Let's go blow off the driveway. I still think there's something wrong with this starter because it's still kicking out a little bit. But it could be a bad connection between the ignition key and the solenoid. So I need to check all that before I go replacing the starter. Alright viewers, I got a shiny new battery in here, straight from Walmart. It was $53 for a 340 amp cranking battery. They had a little bit cheaper one, but wasn't as good a battery. I need to check the voltage on this wire coming to the solenoid from the ignition. I got a feeling if that's less than 12 volts, the starter wouldn't behave properly, and the starter is acting up. Might need a new starter, but I need to check my voltage and everything all the way from the key before I even think about replacing the starter. I shut it off without turning off the gas. Let's see if we can crank it back up, turn off the gas, and run it out of the carburetor. I need to put a cutoff valve on my new lawnmower where I can do the same with it. Okie dokie. Now when I come back to start it next year and If it doesn't run again before then, but I'm sure it will. Less chance of the bad gas drying up in the carburetor. We'll work on it some more another day. I've done all I want to do today. Last night, for most of the night, on into the early morning, we had severe thunderstorms. We had severe thunderstorms here. And it hit lightning and thundered and poured down. I looked at the radar on my cell phone and it was just red and dark colors as far as you could see. But it cleared up pretty good this afternoon. I think it's going to turn cold tonight. That's why I had to get out here and change my battery now. Don't want to come out here tomorrow if it's 30 degrees and change the battery. It's pretty nice out here right now. I went ahead and blowed the acorns off the driveway again. I'm thinking about, I better get my parts manual out for my Husqvarna and just look up a starter just to see what it costs. If they're even available for that engine. I'll check all my voltage and everything. Anybody knows anything about starters? Got any tips for me? I'll listen. But I'm not going to jump right in to change the starter until I'm sure that's the problem. It'll crank for a minute and then kind of drop out. You have to hope it'll start during that short period of cranking over. Seems to me a good starter ought to crank and crank and crank until the battery's dead. Anyway, I got a feeling it's a bad connection in there somewhere around the ignition key. Not getting the proper voltage to the solenoid. But what do I know? I went out and checked my propane this morning. That's 42%. So I got a half a tank. That means I got 75 gallons out there, I guess. Won't be long, I'll have to order them to bring some more. We never did bring in our hummingbird feeders. I'm not going to do it today. Anyway, not much of a little vlog today, but it took me 3 days to upload that last one. 2.5, almost 3 days. I don't know what's wrong with my internet service here, but it sure is awful. I've been on the waiting list for Starlink. They sent me a notice saying it's going to probably be sometime next year before I'll be qualified for it again. They got my $100 deposit though. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Pwalpar wishing everybody well.